Hi, I'm Kurt Steinbrook with OurChurch.com, and in this video I'm going to tell you how you can be growing your church through online outreach and online church marketing. Now, a lot of churches focus on the offline. They're looking for ways to either bring people in by having events at the church or by sending their people out, in service projects and evangelistic projects and things like that. And that's very important. The church needs to keep doing that. We need to have that personal face-to-face time. But our society is becoming more and more connected to the internet. It wasn't long ago that we all started to get computers in our houses and we were connected to this crazy thing called the internet, right? Then we got laptops and we could start moving around. And now everyone's got a smartphone or a tablet and they're constantly connected to the internet. And that gives us a great opportunity in the church. The internet is just a great tool for us to be able to reach out to people and connect with people who we might not be able to as easily, at least, in the real world. And of course, then that means that we can bring them into the church. So we're not talking about just an online ministry. We're talking about using the internet to reach out to people and connect with them so that then we can bring them into the church in person and then connect with them there in person. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing is that you're going to need a website. And hopefully you have one. Most churches do at this point, thankfully. But if you don't, you need to go create at least just a basic website. It's not very expensive, and there's a lot of tools out there that can make it very easy to at least have some presence online where people can see your address and your meeting times and things like that. Now, of course, once you have your website, you want people to be able to find your website. So when someone comes to you, goes to the search engines and they search for a church in your town, you want them to find your church. So you can do that by doing some search engine optimization techniques to help you to get high rankings in the search engines. I can't go into all the details about that. We actually have some other videos that talk about that. But that's something that you want to look to do. It's basically just putting things on your website that tell the search engines what your site is about, that you're a church and what your main ministries are, and then helping to get other websites to link to you so that you show that you are a site of value. And then in addition to doing just the basic search engine optimization, as a local organization, you want to get listed in local listing sites. Now these are sites like Yelp or City Search or even Google Plus Local, Google Maps, things like that. So you want to get listed in these sites because people go to those places as well to try to find local information like a church. Now, one of the neat things about the local listing sites is that a lot of them also have the feature where people can post reviews. So just anyone who's experienced something with, a company or a church can go post about that experience that they had. Now, a lot of churches think this is just for businesses or this is just for products and services. No, this is something that churches need to be doing as well because people look to those reviews when they're looking for a church just as much as they do when they're looking for a restaurant or some other place to go. So you want to be able to show people that things are going on at your church. Because if you go to a listing, if you find a listing for a church and there's nothing posted there, it kind of makes your church look a little dead. And then especially if there are other churches that are listed in that same area and they've got several reviews, that's going to really make it look like everything's going on at these other churches, not much is going on at your church. So you want to make sure that you're getting positive reviews. Now, you can do that just by asking your members. When you go home today, go post something about your experience here at the church on Yelp or on Google or wherever. So you can have your members doing that. And the other advantage to this is that it really can affect people and their choice to come visit your church. Now here's what we're talking about, bringing them from the online world to the offline world, bringing them into your church. When they're seeing all the exciting things that are going on at your church, and the way God is working in people's lives at your church, because they're posting them there in those reviews, that's going to get them excited. It's going to make them want to be a part of that. And so that makes it more likely to go and show up at your church. Now, what are some of the other ways that you can reach out to people? I would encourage every church to have a blog. Blogs are basically just ways that you can post articles and videos and other types of content, and it can distribute out to people, and it's just an easy way to coordinate all that. But you want to have a blog so that you can help to stay in contact with your own members by sending out updates and event announcements and things like that, but also so that you can put out content that people who are not yet members of your church might be interested in. That may be answering questions like theological questions or life questions, or putting out some other kind of information that people would want to find. In addition to blogging, I would encourage you to consider video. There's a lot of great things about video, and it's getting cheap to be able to do it, and it's not that hard. I mean, what I'm using right here for this video didn't cost me all that much. I'm not using like a $10,000 camera. This is just a decent webcam and a microphone. It didn't cost that much, but look at the interaction that we're able to have here. As opposed to reading an article where it's just text on a page, here you're able to see me. You're able to hear my voice. You're able to get a sense for my personality. There's a connection that we're forming here that we wouldn't get through text. And if I ran into you on the street, you would kind of feel like you know me already. I've actually heard that from people who called us at OurChurch.com. They're like, man, I feel like I know you. I've been watching your videos for the past couple of weeks. So you can create that connection with people before they ever even come into your church. And then when they do come to your church, they feel like they already know you. And if you're posting things from other people in your church, like member testimonials and things like that, then they're going to feel like they know a lot of the people in the church. They're looking around, they're seeing familiar faces. You can also do things like, church tours, or here's what to expect at our church when you come to worship here. Things like that. And also, things like answering questions and all that, like we talked about with the blog. You can do that in a video format. In addition to video, what are some other things that you can do? I would encourage you to look into Facebook. Facebook is really good both for connecting with people through your members, but also for advertising. So, you want to encourage your members to connect with people through Facebook, and then give them things to share from the church with their friends in Facebook, and encourage them to, let their friends know about events and things like that coming up. You can also use Facebook ads to target the people in your specific area, for events, or just to let them know that the church is there. Whatever you'd want to do, they have a really great ability to target things. And the last thing I would mention is just local advertising. You may have members in your church even who have businesses or organizations that are in the local area, and they probably have websites. So just ask them, would you mind putting a little banner ad or a little link to the church or something like that, so that people, when they go to their site, they can see something about the church, maybe made aware of your church being there, and maybe an event that's coming up or something like that. So those are some of the ways that you can be reaching out to people online, again, to connect with them, and to be able to, create that connection, and then bring them into the church for a real life, real world connection. Now at OurChurch.com, we offer services that can help you to do that. So if you'd be interested in our helping you to do this, please send us an email at support@OurChurch.com, or you can go to our website, OurChurch.com, and go into the SEO section. You can find information there, and you can also request a free, no obligation consultation, and we'll be in touch with you there to tell you about the ways that we can help you to reach out to people and grow your church through online outreach.